Okay, just as a little bit of an intro, I've been using Windows Media Center. Well, let me start even further. Uh, I noticed we were spending a lot of money for satellite TV, and I thought, oh, maybe we can get an antenna and save some money. But once you've used PVR and PVR tape functionality, it's hard to give that up and just stick with live TV. So I came up with a system that uses Windows Media Center and a laptop as a DVR, a couple of extenders so we could watch TV throughout the house, and that system seemed to work quite well for a while. Uh, then there were some issues. We decided to go with IPTV. Windows kind of gave up on Windows Media Center and it wasn't available in Windows 8 and Windows 10. They stopped using the guide, and then my laptop failed, my multimedia laptop. So what I've done, what I did was buy a new used laptop with Windows 7, and I wasn't using it much for a while, but then when I started using it, I noticed that I was no longer getting sound in 5.1, and I couldn't figure out why. I thought it was the extender itself that is just old. It's like 14 years old, and perhaps the decoding chip stopped working. So I was only getting sound in stereo via PCM, pulse code modulated. So I started, first thing I did was checked that, well, I actually tried checking, but it wasn't, I just kind of figured the problem was with the Dlink media streamer, media renderer, and I kind of gave up on it. And then last few weeks, I decided I'm going to solve this. And I guess the first step was determining that if the DSM-750, the D-Link, was the actual problem. So we'll start with that, and I'll show you my journey to get 5.1 sound working again. So I have a HD home run encoder that takes over-the-air TV signals and changes them to Ethernet IP. So there's a few different ways you could watch it. This is like live right from the antenna after it's been encoded HD. So Home Run makes a program for that. But for the DVR functionality, I use Windows Media Center. So I like it, and it's free. So I tape or record shows on the antenna. So we do have a IPTV subscription, but it doesn't get some of the American stations that I like Comet, the science fiction from Buffalo, and that sort of thing. And I can get this on my phone or basically anywhere. So not from Windows Media Center, but just directly from HD Home Run. So because Microsoft Windows has basically abandoned Windows Media Center, one issue that I had was there was no more guide. So I could still record stations, but there's no guide anymore. So there is something called EPG, Electronic Program Guide 123, that I've been using. And this downloads all the guide information over the internet, and the database is updated regularly. It's true that most stations have a guide encrypted into them from the TV, but those usually only last a day or two, and it's kind of all over the map. Some of them are fairly detailed, others are very sparse. So this is pretty consistent. So I've been using this as my guide, and it interfaces with Windows Media Center. It was a little bit tricky to get set up, but I got it working now, and I'm pretty happy with how it's working. So if you're still using Windows Media Center to view movies, and if you're using it as a DVR, you really have to check out this forum, the green button .tv. I'll post a link to it here. This is great. There's a lot of very experienced users here, much more experienced than myself, and I did searches for things like surround sound and the DSM-750, Dolby 5.1, and that's how I found out about the Shark codec pack. And a lot of other users are having problems with surround sound and just issues in general with sound and Windows Media Center. So this is where I found out about that codec pack. So in order to find files that actually worked, to prove that the Dolby issue wasn't in my DSM-750, I went to this site called demolandria.net, and I specifically downloaded this file here, channel check. So this is a great site, and I'm going to post a link to it. The one nice thing about this site is you can also do downloads, and I took this file and put it on a USB stick so I could test it on the DSM-750. So this is the Shark 007 website, and this is where I got the codec audio pack from. A lot of people on the Green Button forum recommended this codec pack, so I went here and installed the codecs. I was thinking, because this laptop is not a multimedia laptop, but just a stereo one, I was actually thinking of buying like a USB sound card and just hoping Windows installed the right drivers, but I didn't have to do that, thankfully. So you can just go to this site, and I will post a link to the site, and that has the codecs that I used. Okay, so this is the installed application. So if you go to audio, I selected the AC3 DTS only SpeedIF coax Toslink. So that works for my setup, and in another part of the video I'll show you how to do that setup, because the video is coming out of the HDMI, but the audio is coming out the coax connection, and my AVR allows you to do that. When I had it set to True HD DTS HD, it wouldn't solve the issue, and obviously if you go to turn off bit streaming analog, it's just going to send out stereo, then you won't get Dolby 5.1 that way either. But this, I think, is the key, this page here, audio, and I did set it to Windows Media Player suggested settings. That seems to work as well. But this, I think, was the thing that cured it and got it working. Some of the settings here are a little bit hard to find, but if you go to Tasks, Settings, and then go to TV, and then go to Audio, this is where I think I had an issue here. This laptop here is not a multimedia laptop. It's basically a used business laptop that has Windows 7 on it. And I think when I installed Windows Media Center, because it's not a multimedia laptop, it just had auto volume. And if you have auto volume, it's just analog only volume, or analog only, or stereo sound. So go to the Dolby decoder setting and make sure that's in one of these modes. I think I left it on theater mode because that seems to work well, and then click save. So that seems to work as far as the settings in Windows Media Center. Okay, so this here is my Dlink DSM-750. So that's my extender that I use with Windows Media Center. So I have that hooked up via HDMI cable to my AVR, and I have it set to streaming box, and then there it is on the TV, and that's set for Windows Media Center right now. So the main issue I had is that for, well, almost a year, Dolby 5.1 wasn't working. I could only get PCM audio, 2-channel audio. So I thought the problem was with the streaming, the media streamer. It's old. I mean, it's almost 14 years old, so it kind of made sense. Oh, that's not working anymore. But then I thought, well, what could possibly happen? And I have two of them, and they were both having exactly the same problem. So I thought, well, I'm going to take the files that I found on the Demolandia, and here I am on Dolby Channel Check. And again, when I check if surround sound is working, look at that, Dolby 5.1 from the streaming box, which is the Dlink DSM-750, and we get sound in 5.1. So the issue obviously isn't the Dolby decoding in the DSM-750, because it's able to do that. So that was a good sign that, okay, all the components work like they should, so it's just a matter of getting it set up properly. So earlier in this video, I showed how I had the Shark codec set up for AAC 5.1 out of Toslink coax. So what I did when I won't get the 5.1 out of, well, it's actually 7.1 True HD out of the HDMI, and the D-Link won't properly encode that, so I have to use 5.1. So what I do is I change the digital audio input on my Onkyo for Streambox to coax. So the audio is coming in through the coax, and the video is coming in through the HDMI. So different AVRs will have different settings, but I think most of the modern ones will allow the audio and the video to come in from different sources, or maybe the same source but different inputs. So now I'm using the D-Link and the extender to show Windows Media Center. Now here's a program, one of that I recorded, Big Bang Theory. It's always in 5.1. So when I click play, okay, it's going to play the program. Now, again, when I go to Onkyo Info, look at that, Dolby Digital 5.1, and the output is upmixed by my AVR for Dolby Surround 5.12, because I got an Atmos system. And I must say that one good thing about Dolby Atmos is the up mixer is great. It's absolutely awesome for turning, stereo into 5.1, and PCM into 5.1, that sort of thing, or 5.12 technically. And let's go to the guide. And we can see here Uh, right on the guide, we can see HD. So this is live, and we can see the Dolby Digital Plus. So that had gone away when I was only getting PCM sound. I couldn't, that didn't show up. But once I got everything working, then this Dolby Digital Plus came back, and again, it says it there and here as well, and you can definitely hear it. Again, the AVR is a good up mixer, so it was taking the PCM stereo and up mixing it to 5.12, and it worked okay. But let's face it, it's no up mixer is going to take the place of a proper 5.1 surround soundtrack.